I am the executive director of WeCount. WeCount is a community organization in Homestead, a membership organization that we fight for the rights of immigrants and working people and youth. We develop leadership and we develop campaigns to improve people's lives. We're part of the Florida Immigrant Coalition and the National Day Labor Organizing Network. Today we have the kickoff of Are Homestead, week of action against racism and exclusion. We're going to have a march led by women and children from First Methodist Church in Homestead down the street to atLosner Park in central Homestead to protest against Arizona-type laws in Florida. With the failure of Congress and the administration to do anything about just and fair immigration reform nationally, the anti-immigrant movement has moved to the states and is attempting to pass Arizona-type laws in many states, and Florida is one of them. There have been 12 anti-immigrant laws that result in increased racial profiling and increased persecution of immigrants that have been filed in the state legislature. 2 of them, which are committee bills, are moving forward very quickly. One of them would make illegal presence a criminal misdemeanor. It would also give the police the power to ask people for their papers. The other one would basically give the police powers as immigration agents by making them check the immigration status of everyone who's been arrested, innocent or guilty, prior to trial or conviction. It's secure communities on steroids. And it also would force many sheriff's departments around the state to sign 287G agreements with ICE, which basically allows the departments and their jail personnel to act as immigration agents. And that's something we don't want. In addition, they will make, both the bills will make E-Verify, which is the government's database that is voluntary, that employers could use in terms of checking whether the papers people present to work are good or not. It would make that mandatory. Yeah, all the studies show that immigration, including documented immigration, has helped the economy. That by the economic activity of recent immigrants creates business, people who buy things, people who and often are filling jobs that U.S. citizens and legal residents aren't taking, but not always. But in any case, it creates a great amount of contribution to the economy than it takes away. Every legitimate study has shown that. So we're in a community that's really been traumatized by immigration raids and by the efforts of the federal government to merge local law enforcement and federal law enforcement through programs such as 287G and secure communities. If it's passed by the state, these state bills go beyond what the federal government is doing. It would really create another level of trauma in our community, more separation of families from each other. And one of the things that we're very disturbed about is how quiet the Latino legislators from the Miami have been. Most of them haven't said a word about this, and we're really calling on them to speak out at this time.
Not really them?
No, I think it's politics. I think the Republican Party and very powerful people in the Republican Party are pushing for these laws because they think it's going to help them in the next election. People who, like Senator Haradopoulos, who have ambitions to be a U.S. Senator, they want to pass an anti-immigrant law to run in the Republican primary. In the past, the Cuban-American delegation from South Florida has always stopped anti-immigrant bills. They've always been on our side on this issue. In this case, they're not. They're being very quiet, and I'm not saying they're not on our side, but we need them to speak up. Like I said, 12 have been introduced. There are 2 committee bills that are moving forward very quickly. One in the Senate is going to be voted on next Tuesday in the Senate Judiciary Committee. The House Judiciary Committee already passed a bill by Representative Snyder. We had tens of thousands of people out in the street in 2006 to oppose the Sensenbrenner bill. It was a bill in Congress that would have criminalized people here. Since then, we've had 5 years of raids. People are afraid. And so we have less people coming out in the street in this type of protest. People are also very disappointed because there was so much promise from the Obama administration. He promised immigration reform within a year. He wasn't able to deliver. The Congress hasn't delivered. And the raids have continued. Deportations have increased under the Obama administration. this is a community that's been traumatized, and it's very difficult for people to come out in the street and protest. We're taking that first step today in holding this march. I think it's the beginning of something a movement. Let me put it this way: it's not the beginning of a movement. This movement's going on for a long time, but it's we're coming out in the street again to make our opinions known. We're going to fight for it. Sometimes things get worse before they get better, and we've had a few years where things have gotten worse, and it depends really on a lot of things. I can't predict. The key factor, one of the key factors, is that we build an organized movement on the neighborhood level in our communities to resist against these types of repressive laws.
Tell the other guys too if they want to come.